my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverley and it is so lovely to see you today. In this video I'm going to be talking about accessible ways to celebrate Samhain, so grab that cup of tea, let's get to it. I love this time of year. Autumn is all me. I love every moment of it and I look forward to it all year long. But I did used to think I can't celebrate the wheel of the year because I'm disabled and I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't. But I have found ways to make it work for me and I wanted to share that with all of you today in this video because I do have a lot of spoony and disabled witches that follow me here. And I love each and every one of you. So definitely make sure that you stick around if you're interested in more ways to celebrate the wheel of the year. But before we get to it, don't forget, if you're new here, you can click the subscribe button to become part of the butterfly family. We would absolutely love to have you here. You're more than welcome. Don't forget to leave this video a like and a comment so the YouTube universe knows the video exists and more people can find me. But as always, the best way to help me here on the channel is through Ko-fi or Patreon, where for just £2 a month or a one-off donation you can really help my blog and this channel to keep on going, like these beautiful butterflies here. Thank you to each and every one of you for supporting me here at the channel. I do also want to say I am currently doing a giveaway on the last video that I did, so I'll leave a link to the video down below, but you can win this beautiful book and it is an absolutely stunning witchy craft book done by a YouTuber actually, so I will leave a link to that video down below, so make sure you go and check that out. I've only had 2 people enter the little giveaway. It's like a hidden giveaway, so make sure you go and watch the video and take part because you can win a beautiful book. But I have my notes on my phone because I am profesh, as everybody knows. And I thought today we'd just talk about some ways that you can make it more accessible. Things like making cakes and things to give as offerings to ancestors is something that I can't do because I need somebody to help me. My husband is my carer and he's somebody who will help me if I'm baking or cooking, but then it's very hard to make it a magical experience if I'm having to ask him to do things for me. It doesn't have the same kind of effect for me. Also, I've always had that thing in my head of joining this coven and we'd have like a bonfire and at midnight we would dance naked round it and do amazing rituals all night. That might just be me. But I do think that many of us see these sorts of witchy things and think that is not accessible to me. I can't be a witch because... But you can. We're all naturally magical. We all have magic inside of us. We don't need all these ingredients and things to make things happen for us. You can do it just with manifestation or just with visualization and things like that. And I wanted to talk about that a bit because Halloween, or Samhain as we call it here in witchy land, we term it as our new year. So this is the end of the wheel, this is the last spoke, and it's a time of letting go and taking things out of your life that are no longer working for you, as well as letting go of people or relationships, cutting ties with people, that sort of thing, and looking forward to the new year and starting fresh. It's a perfect time to really delve deep into shadow work and journaling and all that kind of good stuff. But I've got some notes here. So the first way of making this more accessible, I think, is instead of thinking of them as just 24 hours or just one day, I think of the wheel as being seasons. So instead of, you know, the season of autumn, I think of it as Mabon and Samhain, if that makes sense. And so because it lasts a few weeks, that means that I don't have to cram lots of things into one day, and it makes it easier for me because I have ME, otherwise known as chronic fatigue here in the UK, and illnesses that cause me pain. There have been times when it's been the day of and I've got loads of things planned, but I'm just not well enough to even get out of bed, and then I feel like I'm letting myself down, and I can get really depressed about it. But if you think of it as a few weeks, you could do one thing each week and really spread out the whole experience of Samhain, and I really love that. I love spreading it out and thinking of it as a season. It makes it so much easier. It makes it easier if you get paid weekly or you're on benefits and you cannot afford to buy things in bulk for just one day. You can spread out the things that you want to buy or the things that you want to do, and I think that's a much better way of thinking about it. I'm going to kill my husband this Samhain. The next great thing that I love to do is meditation. Now, there are two different ways of meditation. There's your traditional meditation where you sit and listen to a beautiful visualization or something like that. There are loads and loads of things. Just put in Samhain or Halloween meditations into YouTube and you'll find millions and bajillions of them. But I love going on to Insight Timer, which is a free meditation app, and they have amazing ones on there, so good, and you're not going to have any adverts that could chop it up, so that's a good tip. But I also love to do yoga nidras. These are meditations that can sometimes go on for hours, like 7-10 hours, and you can listen to them overnight while you sleep. They're great for if you need a nap. There are some wonderful ones for chronic pain and migraines and things like that that really help me when I'm struggling with pain. But also yoga nidras can be really good if you're not feeling great but you want the experience of an autumnal day out and you can't go out. There are some that are like a wintry day out, an autumnal day somewhere, and I have done some beautiful ones. The favourite one that I've ever done was one where you went to the lavender fields of Provence. And the dream I had was like so vivid of being there. I could smell the lavender. It was incredible. And I always have these really deep and meaningful experiences while I'm doing yoga nidras. But they're great if you're not able to leave the house. Like I don't often leave the house. And so it's great for experiencing the autumn, going for a walk in the forest, collecting acorns and things, all these things that we as witches want to do. We can't all do. Like I can't go for a walk in the forest and I'd need a wheelchair, and most forest walkways are not designed for wheelchairs. It's not great unless you're lucky enough to have like a forest area that is wheelchair accessible. If you are, go and get those acorns and things from the forest. But if you're not, yoga nidra is definitely the key. The next thing is I do a lot of work with my ancestors, and I like to write a letter to my ancestors. It might be a letter to my grandmother or to my granddad. I might buy them a birthday card or a Christmas card. You know, there's so many things and I just leave it on my ancestor altar. The great thing about writing a letter to an ancestor, to a grandparent or an aunt or a cousin or whoever that you miss in this life, is that they will get that message, and you might even have them come to you in a dream or something like that. But it's great for if you're grieving, if you're still grieving that person, writing to them really helps. I know it helped me when I lost my grandparents. They were like my best friends in this world, and when I lost them, I had a huge mental breakdown. I was so depressed. I couldn't function without them. I felt like, how am I supposed to get through life without them? And I think a lot of us feel that way when we lose somebody who's very important to us. And so I think writing those feelings out, getting those feelings out is so important. And writing a letter to that person can get a lot of that grief that could be holding you back. It gets it out of there. And it's really beautiful, really healing practice. So if you've not done that yet, definitely highly recommend. The next thing is, because Samhain is all about letting go and releasing things that no longer serve us, a really wonderful thing to do is write a list of things that you want to get rid of from your life. If it's guilt, if it's past trauma, if it's a relationship with somebody or a friendship that has let you down or you feel depressed about, you can write a list about that and then either burn it, bury it, or throw it in the bin. Get it out of there, just get it gone. And as long as you get it out of you, it's so healing. It's a big part of shadow work. If you've never done shadow work, just look it up here on YouTube. There are so many videos about shadow work. It's a psychological thing, but it's really been taken up by the spiritual and the witchcraft community, and it does help a lot, especially if you grew up with trauma or you've had past traumas that you struggle to let go of. It's really a wonderful way of really diving into that. However, it can bring up issues, so definitely speak to your therapist or your doctor before you go into shadow work. Yeah, I think that's really important. Shadow work can be really great, but just writing a list of things that you want to get rid of over the next year is very powerful. I found it very powerful. If you're able to light a candle, definitely light a candle based on what you want to let go of, and just spend time journaling. You can even write it out on in an iPad and then delete it on your computer and throw it away. Like, whatever works for you, make sure you do it. It's so releasing and it's so wonderful. And there are gods and goddesses and angels. Like, I work a lot with Archangel Michael, and he is wonderful for that sort of work, so you can call on him, or you could call on Hecate, people like that for support, or you can even call on your ancestors to be there with you while you're trying to sort things out. It's just so powerful. Highly recommend. Now, I am somebody who's really bad at art. However, I love doing it. I have done some videos where I do paintings here on the channel, so I will leave links to those down below. But I love doing paintings, and I think it's really great that if you've got like a tablet or you've got a phone even, there are apps where you can use to draw, or you can get a piece of paper and a pen, whatever, do a little doodle, or you could go all out and get your acrylic paints out, and it's whatever works for you. But doing maybe some needlecraft or something like that, I don't know, for Samhain is really nice. It's really lovely thing to do. I've been making these little tiny pictures for each of the Wheel of the Year turnings, and I'm really looking forward to doing the Samhain one. That will probably be in my next vlog because Samhain falls in the first week of the month, and so November's vlog will definitely have me doing a little painting for my altar. My brain's not working today, I'm sorry. It's just not working at all. But doing artwork is something that's very therapeutic. It's open to everyone because artwork could be anything. It could be a scribble on an envelope, it could be a beautiful painting, it could be a sculpture, it could literally be anything. Like, anything that's art to you, doing something that is based around Samhain, it's just going to be so lovely, and you can display that and use it alongside your Halloween decorations, and I love doing that. I'm so excited to do some art for Samhain. And the last tip is divination. I think it's so cool that there are so many different forms of divination out there. I think there's something that's going to work for everybody. No matter what ability you have, you're going to be able to either use a pendulum, or you're going to be able to use spell casting, charm casting, or tarot, or there's even apps that do the tarot for you. You can find whole tarot spreads just on Google. You can do tarot just for the season to come, one for things that you need to let go of. You could do a tarot spread just for Samhain. Like, if you search for that in Google, you're going to find it. Divination is so powerful, and it's something that can really help you connect with your ancestors if that's something you're interested in, or something that you want to start a practice of. I do have several videos about ancestor veneration and books that I've done, so have a look around. I will leave links down below if I can find them. But yeah, if you're interested in that kind of work, this time of year is the perfect time to start. I'm so excited about just thinking about doing some tarot readings with my family and making sure that I'm on the right track. I'm letting go of the things I should be letting go of. I've got lots of plans. So I'm really, really excited. And that was everything. That's all of the things that I do and I could think of for you guys to do as part of your season of Samhain. I think it's so important to let go of what you perceive or what you think it needs to be, and instead just enjoy doing what you need to do on that day. Even if all you do is light a candle that you've bought from some shop that's a Halloween themed candle, and just do some journaling. We all have different abilities, different ideas of how we want to celebrate the Wheel of the Year, and also different levels of energy and pain. You might be in a massive flare and be unable to celebrate this year, which is always a bummer, but you can always watch some movies, watch some Hocus Pocus, and just get in the mood. It's just so fun to look at all the different things that we can do. And I think sometimes we get in our heads too much thinking that witchcraft is just spells. Spells is part of it, but it doesn't have to be a big elaborate thing. It can just be a candle and some journaling, and that's perfectly valid. You're all valid, my little butterflies. I love you all. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to head down below and leave it a like and a comment. I always love chatting to you guys. I would love to hear your ideas or how you celebrate the day of Samhain, and if you celebrate for the season or if you just stick to the day. I'm definitely a season kind of gal because my energy levels never let me do everything I want to do on that day, so I tend to mix it up a little bit. So yeah, let me know what you get up to for Samhain, and if there's any of these things that giving you ideas of ways you're going to celebrate. Don't forget, if you're new here, to head down below, click that subscribe button, ring that little bell so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here on a Friday, but sometimes on a Monday, just to keep you on your toes. Have a wonderful, magical week. Happy Samhain season, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys.